Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and today I have a not quite one paragraph review for A Quiet Place Part 2.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
A Quiet Place Part 2 is a really effective and highly engrossing horror movie that has surprised me. I don't know why, but I sort of had reservations. I was expecting this to go a completely different direction and have, a lot more action and all that kind of stuff that you see with sequel horror movies. But although it does expand on, the lore, expands upon, everything that we've seen and does have a bit more action to it, it manages to maintain that tension, that horror, that absolute fear, and that deadly silence as well that just worked so very well in the first film. Now, it does repurpose sort of like the feel. It's less contained in this little bubble with this family life and focuses much more on a series of quests, if you like, as all these different characters end up exploring, their own fears and their own desires and, what they can do to make a difference in the world. And we get, like I said, an expansion of the lore. We see different sort of ways that people are dealing with the apocalypse, as it were. And we obviously get this wonderful casting of Cillian Murphy, who is fantastic. In fact, the whole cast is absolutely fantastic. Emily Blunt, once again, absolutely brilliant, and it's incredible they managed to get it back. And then we have Noah Jupe, who is fantastic, the son, and obviously we have Millicent Simmons, who is just as brilliant as she was in the first film, playing this part wonderfully well, utilizing everything that she experienced probably herself and all that. It's wonderful. It really is wonderful. And although it does recycle a lot of the elements of the silence and the fear surrounding that, it's dialed up a little bit more. It all seems that little bit more chaotic, and that is where it keeps that sort of freshness, if you like. It dials everything up just a little bit more by including, a lot more people in it, a lot more characters in it. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more chaos in this film than there was in the first one. But that doesn't take away from any of the tension in any way, shape, or form. And it maintains that tension by keeping everything really tight. The characters, there's a lot of tight angle camera work going on here. The cinematography is absolutely on point. You get these wonderful wide shots, of the devastation, as they've left the valley where they were held up before everything went to shit in the first film. You get these wonderful wide action establishing shots. You get all these wonderful sequences of cityscape and the bay of water where all these ships are and everything, and yet it's shrewd enough in its creation that it brings everything back, keeps everything tight, and keeps all the focus squarely on the characters. And I think that, round of applause to John Krasinski for expanding this world, as I said, and yet keeping everything so tight and so compact. The standout part of the film is the performances. I love the performances in the first film, and that was the one thing that I was hoping they'd maintain here, as well as that tension, as well as that horror, and they did. And like I said, all the actors here are brilliant. It's a shame Digimon Hunsu doesn't get a bit longer a part in it, and Cillian Murphy as well. He is brilliant, but again, he's kind of on the sidelines here, as is Emily Blunt. The focus is much more on the children in this film, the two eldest children, and it's wonderful in that regard, that it's almost kind of like a handing off, as you were, towards them. They seem to take on the brunt of the terror, the brunt of the agony, the brunt of the problem solving as well. So for me, this film is a superb sequel a much better sequel than I actually thought it would be, and my reservations are totally unfounded. This is a really, really good film. I'm late to the party watching it, late to the party reviewing it, so that's why it's just a not quite one paragraph review here. Solid 8 out of 10 for me. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.